All right, we are going to get started because I see people are in here. Although my chat thing isn't actually showing people on there for some reason. I see there's people in here. So also let me pause this over here. What's up, guys? I see that we have Pure in here. We have Astrum. We have Sander, because Sander did say he was going to be in the chat. Sadfrax also did. We're going to be building something today. And it's something really dumb that I had an idea of. And I'm just going to jump right into this. I think I'm just going to jump right in. So match my DC and YouTube username. As you guys, I know at least 2 people in this chat, but they have no idea who I am. All right, so we're going to jump into this. So obviously this is the Scotto wing. This is my recent PCB board. I am going to have to find the PCB for this because I actually didn't grab that before this, but this is a bigger edition of the case. It's like a thicker one, but we have that on the back here. And of course for this stream, what we are going to be drinking on is Sprite, you know, because we have the Sprite themed keyboard here. So we're doing the Sprite board, basically. I'm going for some internet points with this one. So what we're gonna do for this first is I want to set up the switches. So I have some choices here. I'm gonna maybe let chat decide on which switches we go with. So it's the bee sting allergy version. So we have these switches here, which are I don't know, these are like AJAZ switches, so they're just like whatever. I want to make this bigger so I can actually see what I'm doing too. Yeah, this will be helpful. So these are like some AJAZ switches. I'm going to be like spring and switch swapping these, but then I also have these ACO ones. I'm thinking I'm going to go with the ACO ones. What do we think? Do we go with ACO or do we go with the really cheap AJAZ ones? Which one should we go with here? I mean, I'm probably leaning towards these, so regardless of what people say, I'm probably going to do these switches, but I do also have these. And also something dumb with this is if I open this, I have this little keycap on there. That's actually TPU. That's a TPU switch right there, or keycap. So I'm trying to do something dumb with that eventually, but, well, I mean, I'm going with, so we're going with a set of these. I'm either going with these and I'm swapping the stems from these into these. So it's like green and yellow, or I'm going with these. So are we going with ACO or AJAZ? I'm going with ACO. I've decided for us. So we're going with ACO because ACO is probably better than the generic AJAZ ones. So that's what I'm going with. Also, let me put the switch back in there. This is probably going to take forever to swap these because I got to swap like 34 of them. But let's pop these open. And I think I'm going to be taking these stems. I'm going to be taking the yellow stems from here and putting the stems into the greens. And then also, I'm going to be putting these 35-gram springs in. I'm not going to be lubing them because I think they're actually pre-lubed. We'll take a look at that. But how will that be a trademark infringement? That is a good question. That's why I titled the stream Soda-themed keyboard, and I didn't like post any of this Sprite stuff there because I'm being cautious about this. So we'll see. It's a dumb idea I had. I'm not making any like money off this. Like, it's just a dumb idea. But we have these here, so I need to get another baggie to swap the springs also, I think. So I want to put the 35-gram springs in here, but this is what I'm going for here. So I'm going for like a green bottom with a yellow stem just because I think it would match the build, but I got to put these springs in. So I have to pop these springs out and put them somewhere. So I'm just going to put them, just start opening these. Now these bottom houses are the really annoying ones too. They're the kale style. So they're like just, I'm going to basically shred my fingers getting these open, but because my switch opener actually doesn't work for these, which is really annoying. Got to swap like 34 of them. That was less than 1/2 of my first key. Yeah, no, I hate doing stuff with switches like this. It's just, I don't like lubing switches. I don't like spring swapping them, but this build pretty much calls for it, so I'm doing it. I mean, I don't have to, right? I don't have to spring swap these, but I just think it'd be kind of fun, so I'm doing it anyway. I am spring swapping them. I'm going to use like a screwdriver to kind of pop these open, because these are a pain in the ass to get open, these ones. Is the nail okay? I mean, it's kind of bruised. It hurts. I feel it still, but it's not terrible. It's doing all right. I'm probably going to stab myself with these a bunch of times too, because they have the really annoying, I don't like this kale style housing. They're really hard to get open. Like, it's just a real pain in the ass, and just like don't want to do what I want to. I'm almost debating if I want to swap the yellow bottom, but that it wouldn't work. So I have to do the green ones. And it's going to be torture here for a few moments just to get these open. So let's see if we could get in. So you pop one side and it pops it back. I think I need a better screwdriver to get into this, actually. This one's not doing what I want it to. Let me see if I have, like... I don't really have a tip that I want, either. That one might work. There we go. Okay, cool. So you can get in there. We want to... I'm making this more difficult, so I want to put these... These are 35-gram springs, so they should be really light, and we'll see how that works out, but... I want to do that, so I'm going to be spring swapping them. No lube or anything on these. I'm just basically doing a simple spring swap. But I got to make sure I keep these separate because I don't know what these are in terms of weight. So we're gonna have to see. Wow, those are really light. I don't know if I even will like that, but we'll try it. We'll just see. Let's put that in there. Let's keep these springs separate. Okay, so there's one. You should 3D print a kale opener. Well, I do have kale openers that I 3D printed. They don't work. I have this one too. It doesn't work. Like if I take this, you'll see it's something with the ACO switches. I'm pretty sure is like their tolerances are just kind of it pops on one end, but you can't like get it fully open. So it's just annoying. So what I typically do is I use like a screwdriver and then manually like pry it open, which is sometimes hard to do. But you can see now I got it. Kind of popped. There we go. Just a real pain in the ass to get it open. These ones are easier though, because these yellow ones are actually the normal MX style. So you can just pop them on there and they open right up. So you can kind of get in, grab that, swap it. And that's easy enough to do. This part's going to be so time consuming. Get around beer switches would match the colors perfectly. Yeah, I looked at those. They were just expensive, and I was like, I'll get the ACO. So I might have actually paid roughly the same for the ACO ones, actually. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not certain, but is that going on right? This is going to be such a slow process. There we go. Grab a spring. These are really light. I think I'm gonna like this. I'll either like it or hate it. We'll see. These are not doing what I want them to do. All right, we got two done. Two done in like 10 minutes. Okay, it's gonna take a while. What I'm gonna actually do too while I do this is maybe pop them into the plate. Nah, I'm not gonna pop them in yet. I'm just gonna put them over here as I do it. We'll just kind of go like that. I'm gonna see if I can kind of bulk them to get a few done at the same time. So it might be a little faster that way. God, these ones are annoying. Ouch. Stabbed myself with that one too. What switch are we mixing and why? So I'm mixing ACO Creamy Yellow Pro and Matcha Green Pro, and that is because we're doing a Sprite themed keyboard, so I want the green and yellow here. Let me make sure I don't mix up my springs here. I'm gonna pop open a bunch of the yellow ones first, because it'd probably be easier to get these ready to go. So all I need from these are the stems. And we're also spring swap, 35 grams. These are, the yellow ones are slightly lubed, it feels like. The green ones aren't lubed. Yeah, no, this is literally purely for just the looks. Just for the looks, that's it. That's the only reason. Even though you're not even going to see the stem once the board's all together. But it's you could borderline say that this is because of the springs. Like, these are super lightweight springs now, and I think it might just feel kind of cool, so that's what I'm putting on here. But yeah, it's mostly just for the looks. Be careful, I'm not gonna like stab myself with a screwdriver trying to get these open. I just don't know why these don't pop the way I want them to. So yeah, the method that you're saying, Endika, is that you can pop it this way, right? But it just like, the tolerance is so close that you can't pop it the other way. It just doesn't work. So like, normally that's what I would think is you could just pry it down, but for some reason, they don't allow you on these switches. I don't know why. Don't know why it doesn't work. So you kind of have to do like this and dig in, and then it pops open. Which springs do you recommend for someone that's never used a mechanical keyboard? That's a hard recommendation. It's personal preference, trial and error. I can't really recommend one. 67 gram actually does seem to be like the standard, to be honest, but these ones are definitely going to be lightweight. Okay, we got 4 done. Let's go. Luckily, because my boards are so small, I only need 34 of these? Yeah, 34 of these for this build. So I don't need that many. I will worry about reassembling them later, too. I'm not going to do that now. I'm just going to take the stems out of the yellows, and then off-stream I'll deal with that part, because we're going to spend enough time trying to get the yellow ones, or the green ones, open. Hey, Toby, what's up? Alright, let's keep going here. Hey, wait, that actually... Okay, hold on. That just kind of worked, actually. I, like, pried it a weird way. I, like, used the sharp corner of the switch opener to open that, and it actually worked. Don't lose a spring. I'm gonna see if that might actually work. Alright, let's try this again. Let's see. I, like, kind of used a sharp end, so I, like, did it at an angle. Come on. That's like breaking the housing now. Okay, these are just a pain to open. I'm still playing the shout out vid on that one firmware we talked about on the Discord. Which firmware are we talking about? Like, maybe ping me in the Discord on which one it is. I don't know what you're referring to. It's not wanting to align. There we go. These are box stems, so they're a little annoying, actually. But they're super lightweight. I think that's going to be nice. Oh gosh, I don't know what it feels like to use a switch opener. Always use tweezers. Yeah, switch openers are nice. I used to just use screwdrivers. That's what I would use. But for these ones, the switch opener's not working when it should be, and it's not. It's annoying me. It's only on the ACO switches that this happens too. It never happens on like normal Kale switches. It's always just ACO for some reason when they use the Kale style housing. Like, I don't know, maybe their machines have weird tolerances, but for some reason, it's just how it works with them. And it's annoying because they're really hard to get open. Like you see, if I try to get this on here. Okay, that one did it. So you have to kind of go like a weird angle that it'll actually work. Try pushing the switch gently while wiggling left and right. It works with me with ACO switches. All right, let me try that. So you say like take it like this and hey, thank you. Thank you. That actually worked. All right. All right. Let's give that another go. Let's see if that actually was just a fluke or not. Hey, there we go. That's all right. Good, good, good. We have a way to actually get these open quickly. Thank you for that. That is very helpful. Look, oh my god, that I'm doing this. I'm doing this right now just to right here. Saved my ass right there. That is so much better. You can just take the switch. Just take the switch. And you just grab it. Do a little wiggly. Pops right open. Let's go. All right, this is gonna speed this up. You probably just saved like 30 minutes on the stream of opening these switches. Like, no joke. All right, some of them are a little bit harder since... maybe not. Okay, cool. All right. Let's put those over there. I want to get... I want to get like a baggie or something for this. Well, maybe not. I don't actually need a baggie. I just need to be organized when I do this so I don't like lose everything. So let me grab some more of these stems here. How many keys do you prefer? Anything, basically 36, 34 is optimal for me. 33 is too low. Once you get to 33, it's not really possible to use daily, I don't think. There's too many combos. So my sweet spot, though, is 34. My like, daily key map that I use is 34 keys. And that works pretty good for me. My hands are starting to get lube all over them, so they're like... Can't get the switches out as easily. I guess since I do have these open now, I can actually easily pop them back together and start modding as I go. Well, it looks like the greens are actually lubed too. It's just very lightly. It's just a very light layer. I really don't want to mix up these springs because they're all different spring weights. So like, I don't want to mix them up because once you mix springs up, it's almost impossible to tell which ones are which. But basically, I'm using the bottom housing spring is the spring that they're matching. That makes sense to me. That might not make sense to everyone here, but the yellow spring is yellow bottom this spring, so I know that that's using the ACO yellow springs. I will say, though, that the borderline amount of lube these switches have, it's way better than some of the AliExpress switches I've gotten that are pre-lubed. Like, in my Scotto 37 build right now, it has pre-lubed matcha switch, MMD matcha switches, and, like, they have so much lube in them that they're actually, like, binding often. So it's kind of annoying to type on that board from time to time. Like, the switches feel great otherwise, but there's, like, 2 or 3 that just bind because they're, like, so overly lubed. I find that lube on ACOs is kind of a gamble. It's either really well done or so light you can barely notice it. Yeah, no, I feel like these are probably like in between. It's pretty light, but there's definitely lube on them, but they're not over lubed. As long as the switch isn't over lubed. Like, once the switch is over lubed, like on my Scotto 37 with some of them, that's when it starts to get bad. But light lube isn't a big problem. All right, let's start modding these together now. This song is not bad. Do I have... Yeah, no, that's fine. Wait. Do I have a yellow that I opened somewhere and is, like, just floating around? I'll figure that out in a minute. Is that not going on? I will say these box housings are a pain in the ass right now because they don't want to align as easily as like a normal switch or a non-box switch. Hey Joe, are you already know about the dongle setup keyboard using another XIO, Bluetooth, or Totem? What's my opinion? Are you asking what my opinion is on dongle boards? Like boards that use 2.4? Cool. This is an adorable build. Yeah, I'm really excited for it. Mainly because it's going to give me some massive internet points, I think. I'm hoping at least. Because it's like, it's just such a dumb idea. It's so stupid. Like, who makes a Sprite-themed keyboard, right? Like, this is just straight up like, what is it? Consumerism in a way, I guess. Like, just straight up consumerism of a board. Consumerism as a keyboard. All hail Sprite Corporation. Which reminds me, I actually want to drink some of my Sprite right now. So answering the question on 2.4 gigahertz versus Bluetooth. 2.4 is better. I believe 2.4 is technically Bluetooth anyway. I forget how that works exactly. Bluetooth will typically have more latency, so when you'll see like a lot of gaming boards, they'll use dongles with 2.4 because you can get lower latency to the point where you can actually game with it and not have massive issues, right? So, like my G502 Lightspeed uses that's a mouse. G502 Lightspeed, it's a mouse. It's the one I use to game on, and it uses a dongle, which I don't know if it's 2.4 or what, but it has basically no latency, and actually the latency is lower than a wired mouse somehow. So yes, 2.4 is better typically, like when we refer to a dongle, but there aren't many options, if any, out there to like build your own boards with it. A lot of them are just like integrated boards and stuff, so I don't know how you'd be able to do that, but overall, yeah, it's better. It is better. It's just, you know, it's not as easy to do. Don't forget to wash your leaded hands in your Sprite. I actually, before this stream, I wiped everything down with alcohol because of all the lead stuff that was on it from yesterday. Trying to get a little bit more cautious with that because sometimes I might be a little sloppy. Made me think yesterday, the amount that I'm doing this, that I should probably be a little bit more cautious with all my lead. Because lead bad. Lead solder good, but lead overall bad, you know? Overall lead bad. Yeah, it's capitalism, free advertising, but everything is a product. This is cute. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm on this build, I'm kind of worried that Sprite might try to like trademark or copyright strike me or something for it. I don't know, but I am gonna at Sprite after this with my build and be like, hey yo, send me sponsor me, you know, send me a bunch of Sprite or something for building this dumbass board. It's just like pure Sprite. I had some problems when I used not leaded solder. Yeah, like non-leaded solder is definitively worse than leaded solder, but it's a trade-off in the sense that you're not using lead anymore, right? So that's the trade-off when you use unleaded solder. But the basic things with it, the basic issues is that it oxidizes. That's actually, look at that. I just noticed that. That's broken. That's box stem for some reason. I mean, it's fine. I'm going to still use it, but yeah, basically leaded solder, it's a trade-off in the fact that unleaded solder will oxidize your iron tip faster. The connections won't be as secure. It's not eutectic. It doesn't melt and solidify at one temperature. So it makes stuff a lot harder to work with, which is why I never really recommend it, especially for like beginners. It's just that lead in itself is lead. You know, you don't want lead. Don't become a boomer huffing and licking your lead table. Yeah, no, I try to not eat my leaded stuff. Where did my other greenhouse go? What am I doing? I keep getting mixed up because it's all these springs here, all these different switches. So I'm like trying to not get them mixed up because I have 3 different springs I'm trying to keep track of. There's that one. Pop that out. I mean, we're gonna see if I like that. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about these 35-gram springs. I mean, on chalk, that's one thing. Like chalk switches, light springs is fine. On MX, it might feel weird. So we're gonna see. I mean, not that I'm gonna like desolder it and change it if I don't like it, but you know, we'll see how it is. Where'd that spring go? I do not want a random 35-gram flopping around. There we go. To go in here. All right, how many do we have now? We have 3, 6, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, so let's get the 15 that we need for 1/2. So 15, 16, 17. Wait. Yeah, no, that's right. 17. 17's half 34. That's how math works, right? Yep. Man, that tip that guy gave me is, oh, so good. So good. They just open now. Like, look at that. You just do a little wiggle, pops right open. It makes me so happy. That was terrible before. Look at that. It just pops right open. That's so amazing. So nice. Let me start clicking these in too so I don't have that happen. Or I just drop them all over the floor. How many did I lose? Did I lose them all? No, we're good. Okay, that's all of them. So let's pop these in. Alright, that should make my life a little easier here. Let's out some of these. Alright. This is going to be a super silly board. Yeah, probably. Are you doing 17 yellows with green stems and 17 greens with yellow stems? Nope, I'm doing every single one of them just like this, so they're all going to be the same. I mean, I could... Now, I don't want to mix them because I want them to be consistent. So, that's what I want. Don't forget to drink. Stay hydrated, bro. You're correct. We do have the Sprite here. So, let's Sprite up. Sprite, sponsor me. Sprite, sponsor me. I like even checked their Twitter before this. I looked at it, I was like seeing how active they were. It was like 6 months ago, so they're not really active. But they did have a little bit of that, you know, I don't know what you'd call it, but what is that humor called where they're like trying to be relatable to the average person or whatever, where they do like funny tweets. So in theory, maybe I can get a Sprite sponsorship. Personally, I'm not comfortable letting kids play with leaded solder because their brains are developing. Even then, it's like a minor risk. Yeah, no, I mean, it's up to anyone's discretion. I'm saying for like an average adult, you know, like an average adult, using leaded solder isn't the end of the world. Did I not spring swap that one? No, we're good. We're good. Never mind. Need to put this back. Now I want to get Sprite, seeing Sprite. Same. There you go. I'm marketing for Sprite. I'm getting them sales currently. Can this get in? I do not like these box stems are annoying. They just don't want to go. Hey, got to learn a lot from all your videos about keyboards, KiCad design, etc. Thanks for all the content you've been providing. Appreciate it big time. You're welcome. And stay tuned on my channel because I have a video coming out shortly, which is going further into PCB design, specifically with integrated MCUs. I'm just waiting on my sponsor to pay me. So I'm like holding the video hostage currently until they pay me. That's pretty typical with this. But yeah, I want to release it tomorrow. I might just release it tomorrow. I might just do that, but we'll see. We'll see. Has a lot of good info. It's 30 minutes long. It's a massive video. I mentioned it in yesterday's stream too because I'm just so excited for it. I'm pretty sure I licked some lead once. I'm pretty sure everyone has. Lead's everywhere. It pretty much is, but tomorrow, not tomorrow, I might release it tomorrow. I might. The thing is with sponsors, it's not that I don't trust the sponsor. It's just, you know, once you release the product and you get the advertising, they don't have a reason to pay you, right? So I'm just like, I hold it until they pay me. But that's kind of where I'm at with this. I'm just waiting on that. Yes, integrated design, just what I was looking for. Yeah, I mean, it's with STM32, it's the Scotto modules. So I'm really excited to share it because it's a long video with tons of info in it, and I think it'll be really useful because there's lots of videos out there that are helpful with STM32, but they're all pretty complicated. This one, I mean, not that this one isn't complicated either. It's still complicated. STM32 is complicated. It's just how it works with integrated MCUs, but I did my best to kind of dumb it down as best I could and simplify it where it makes it just, you know, you can build something instead of having to think about all the little nuances. So that's kind of the goal of the video. One more tip, press the stem first in the bottom housing, then close the top housing. The switches will be easier to close. Yeah, I've been trying to do that. It's just I don't always do it. Like, I take it like this, right? You put your stem. You can kind of push it like that, but then I'm like poking my fingers, so it's kind of uncomfortable. But yeah, like I guess like that kind of works. Did it work? Yeah, there we go. Kind of works. That one did not do what I wanted it to, did it? Hold on, what is that doing? Why is that doing that? Hold on, hold on. What the hell? Just disintegrated my thing there. Wait a second. What did I do? What the... That's the first time I've ever had that happen, where I pull out the leaf. Do I want to use this switch still? What did I just... Really? And I completely yoinked the leaf out of that one. I'm not using this one. I'm not going to use this switch. I'm going to just kind of throw this one away. I mean, I'm just going to put it back together. Just leave it over there. That was weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's Sprite themed, sure. I mean, but it literally has... Like, I mean, that's not themed. You know, that's not a themed keyboard. That's a Sprite keyboard. Like, I mean, I can't really argue that it's themed. It's straight up Sprite. Like, I mean, I guess it's on the back of the board, so you can't, like, quickly tell. You know, you'd have to flip it over, but still. It's not themed. It's straight up Sprite. Like, straight up. So... It's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the dumbest thing. The color scheme is what I started with the color scheme, right? I started with the green and yellow because I thought it looked cool, and then I was like, wait a second, isn't that Sprite? And technically it isn't Sprite because you can see Sprite is, I mean, there is yellow on it, the lemon lime thing, but like the newer brand is like black and white and green, kind of. So it's a little different now, but yeah, this should be a 35 gram, yes. I'm gonna try to fix that other spring because, or that other leaf in that switch, because I don't want to waste that switch. It just feels like a waste. So I'm not gonna try to fix it. All right, let's see if we can get this one fixed. So I need a 35 gram spring. Pop it on in. Is that leaf? That leaf's not all the way. How can I pull this through? We're gonna have to check that the switch still works too, but... I mean, this is supposed to go deep in there too, and it won't, like... There we go. That went... Okay, cool. So that went in. So now I can pop this on. Pop this on. Seems like it still works so far. Okay, that feels good. Let's just test that we still have continuity. I'll grab my multimeter just to make sure the switch is going to work. All right, let's see. So we should only have continuity when we press it. All right, that's not working. Hang on. Did I test any of these switches? Let's see if they actually do work. All right, so they do work. This one, for some reason, is not working. Is it worth messing with this switch to make it work? That's my question. It's like a 30-cent switch. It just feels like such a waste to not make it work, though. So, why not? Let's see if we can get it to work. Let's try that. If this doesn't work, I'm just moving on. I'm gonna mess with this switch for 10 hours when it's like a 30-cent switch. Doesn't even matter. All right, that's fine. I'm just throwing it over there, leaving it. We'll ignore that one. I don't see any point in these Franken switches except its look, and the combination looks really good for both the switches. The only practical sense, I'm replacing them with 35 gram springs. So the springs are lighter than what's in them, because I think the greens have like 45 and these are like 40, 42, or maybe 55. I can look at them. What am I even saying here? I can just look here and see. Yeah, so the yellows are 55, you can see right there, and then the greens are 65 max. So I'm making them a lot lighter. So that's the only practical use here, is that they're lighter switches. Borkex one? What is that? What are you referring to there? Hold on, am I crazy, or is one a tactile too? No, they're both linear. Why does it feel like a tactile? What the? Hang on, wait. They're both linears, but they're feeling tactile? Now it's not tactile. I guess that's probably just the leaf. So yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm just being dumb there. That's just the leaf. That's not a big deal. That's why it felt tactile, though. How many did I do so far? I did 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. 34 minus 19, what's that? 15? Let's just get 15 of these open. Okay, this song is already going good. I'm vibing with it right off the bat. $35 is really like one can mistype a lot, but everyone has their preference. Yeah, this is not a preference of mine. This is just literally I wanted to try it. Like, I have no idea if I'm gonna like this. I have no idea. And I have no idea if I'm gonna actually use the board. I'm just gonna like, I mean, I'll use it for a little while, try to, but it's mostly just for how stupid the idea is. Come on. This one is being a pain. Your shake method isn't there, it goes. Okay, finally worked. Got it. Yeah, I plan on when I do send a photo to them on Twitter or whatever, is I'm just going to put, like, a picture of everything. So that without the switches, with the switches, or without the keycaps, and then without the, just with the switches, with the keycaps. So I'll send both, just to, like, kind of get a look. Because it has to be themed the whole way, right? Did I... This is basically switch disassembly stream right now. Got a little pile here of switches. Perfect. Come on, open. Open. Now imagine if I had to lube these switches too. I'd be really irritated then. Oh man, I hate modding switches and stuff, but it's all for this build. It requires it. I hate money switches. It's never worth it for me. Yeah, I'd argue it's basically never worth it. Borderline. Borderline never worth it. But in this case, it's worth it. I just noticed too, the yellows are looking like they're using a long pull spring too, a longer one than usual, which is cool. I don't know, I never typically get like too tied up on springs and switches and stuff too. I build so many boards I don't really care enough. But that said, sometimes a nice like expensive switch does feel and type and sound better. Some more Sprite. Is that not popping? There we go. It just flew all the way over there. Little STEM rocket launcher right here. I just got an idea. What if you put a trackball in the middle of the Scotto wing? I've thought about that on a bunch of my boards. I've never done it. One day, I always say one day. So one day I will do something like that, but that day is not today. It would be cool though. All right, let's start doing these. So we need some springs. Hey, just wanted to ask where you get your chalk hot swap sockets, if you don't mind sharing. If you search chalk hot swap sockets on Google, you'll find like a bunch of stores that sell them. But AliExpress is where I get them. They're like $70 for like 500 or 1,000 of them, something like that. They're pretty expensive. But I think I saw your comment actually. You were asking about AliExpress not trusting it. You can trust AliExpress in most cases. Most cases. Sometimes there are sellers that will scam you, but most of the bigger stores, just look at the reviews. If there's a lot of good reviews, you'll be pretty safe. So yeah, AliExpress, just search chalk hot swap socket. Make sure you don't get the MX ones, or you get the MX ones if you want MX, or chalk if you want chalk. They look different, so you'll be able to tell. There's a guy, Proteus Keebs, at IG that makes some awesome boards. Yeah, I know Proteus. He's taken some of my designs and actually modified them with like trackpads and stuff. He's a pretty cool dude. He makes some really cool stuff actually. I mean, he's like wild out there. Pretty much all his builds use a trackpad or like trackball in some form. It's honestly insane the amount of builds he does like that. He's also in the server. He's in the Discord server, which if you are here and you're not in the server, join the Discord server down below. And also follow me on Instagram, because I'm trying to blow that up a little bit more too. Just because, you know, social platforms, having more of them with more people is always more better, right? So, yeah, I post like behind the scenes stuff on Instagram though. That's why. You can just see what I'm working on, dumb stuff, or when new videos come out. Is this reversed? This is reversed. Things flying everywhere. Right, there we go. AliExpress has really good refund policies as well. If you scam, unlikely to take the scammer side. Yeah, I haven't had to do that, really. That hasn't happened to me, but yeah. I do know that people do get refunds on there. I've seen it on, like, specifically Reddit. I've seen it on the AliExpress Reddit, because, like, if you search up AliExpress scam, you'll be able to find, like, the subreddit, and people will post, like, tips on how not to get scammed. But a majority of, like, the keyboard stores and stuff, you're probably not going to get scammed by them, so you don't have to worry too much. Okay, maybe a criminal. I just realized I wasn't subscribed. You're not subscribed to me and you're watching my content? Not allowed, dude. Not allowed. That's grounds for a ban. Permaban. Yeah, actually, I do wonder how many people do stumble across these streams too as I'm doing them and like aren't a subscriber of mine. So like if you aren't subscribed, check below and make sure you subscribe, because that's you know, helps me out there. What's this switch doing? I'm noticing too, like I'm like on the way bottom of the frame here. I could try to get it there, but it's kind of hard to do. I don't think that does anything, Crash Test. This isn't Twitch. This is also, if I was streaming on Twitch, I'd be able to have a thing. I need more yellows. I'd be able to have a thing where I could actually strip out the music on the upload so that I'd be able to listen to whatever I want, but I can't listen to whatever I want because I'm on YouTube. So I have to listen to my no copyright stuff, which is fine. This sounds good right now. I'm vibing with it, but like, you know, it'd be nice if I could play some quote-unquote real music, right? But Twitch is Twitch, and I'm a YouTuber, not a Twitcher. Do they call them Twitchers? Is that a thing? It almost feels like that's a bad thing to say about Twitchers. Feels bad. Oh yeah, like Sandra said too. Ring the bell. You know, hit the notification bell. There we go. I'm really pushing for like 15k this year. That's what I'm trying to. Originally it was 20k, but 20k ain't gonna happen. I think 15k is possible. Which is kind of crazy that a year and a half ago I had like 600 subs and my channel was focused on like camera shit. So that's it's kind of crazy, but. I joined the Discord. I want to share my schematic I want to build since it uses a GPIO expander. Actually, so there are people in there that have used GPIO expanders before. I know there are a lot of members that have done that. So if you post your question, just post like a question, just getting the combo started in like maybe PCB, and then someone could probably better guide you on where to post that, or even link you back to that conversation. Because I know there are a few people that have used GPIO expanders. I haven't done it, but I know there are in the server that have done it. You'll probably get directed to forum eventually, just have like a forum thread to track everything, but yeah. I know people have used them. I'm reading your comment, Crash Test, but I'm not going to say it. I'm thinking of a meme right now that a buddy of mine would laugh his ass off at right now. It's very obscure though, so I'm not, I can't mention it. What am I doing here? What am I doing? That needs this top. Yes. Pretty sure Crash Test Zombie was one of my like first subs too. I'm pretty sure. I try to remember most people, but like there's so many people now that it's hard to. But like I'm pretty sure Crash Test was one of the first ones, like way back, like literally 2 years ago back. Pretty certain. Pretty certain. So. My hands are starting to get greasier and greasier with the lube on these. Slowly, progressively, more slime. Why is that not... Oh, there we go. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, got it. Yeah, weren't you from, were you from Facebook, Crash Test? I feel like you were from, like, Facebook, because I used to post to the Facebook groups all the time. I think you were in one of them, right? Lube like a well-oiled machine. Yeah, but it's getting progressively harder to assemble these because my hands are just slimy now. Slimy hands. I mean, we've been going for almost an hour now doing these. I mean, it's taken longer than I expected to do this spring swap. I debated doing it off stream, but I figured it'd be cool to have like the whole video, the whole process of doing everything for this build. And it just gave me like an excuse to kind of stream for a while. So that's what we're doing. Here, a machine that turns switches into slightly different switches. Yeah, ever so slightly different. Just a lighter spring and a different color. That's about it. What I'm getting a hankering for right now. Yeah, I said hankering. That's a word I used. Some more Sprite. We're gonna need to refill the Sprite jug in a second. Are those MX or Gatorons? Yeah, these are MX style. So Gatoron's just a brand. Gatoron's a brand of MX. This is MX. That's MX style, and then I should have. I put them back, didn't I? There's also Chalk, which is low profile ones, so they're different. But these are just MX. Gatoron makes MX switches. We had people calling me from yesterday, yo, 2 days in a row. I don't even know how to say your name, so I'm not going to try. But yes, we're doing the dual day stream. I need some more of the Sprite for the... You're just joining the Sprite stream. Soda themed. No copyright here. No copyright. You know, I can't see that number because it's blocked by like an emoji thing, but it's 672 probably. Awesome. I got a new follower on Instagram. Let's go. Look at that. Look at the fizz. See, we got that luxury Sprite fizz there. The crispness of lemon and lime mixed together in a soda. In the zero sugar variety, as you can see. Very healthy, 0 calories. See? Selling it for Sprite. They need to sponsor me. Alright, let's see. Toby, I didn't see the Sprite theme case. It's so funny. Yeah. Originally, I wasn't gonna... Hold on. I gotta like this song because it's just... It's called Midnight Vibe, and I'm straight vibing with it. So yeah, I wasn't gonna originally do the Sprite logo because I just did the green and yellow here, and I thought it looked cool. But I was like, hey, you know what? Those are Sprite colors, so we slapped the Sprite logo on that. And by the way, printed on the Bamboo A1. Printed beautifully. So, mentioning that there. Because I just got that printer, and that was the first thing I printed on it, actually. $673. Awesome. Thank you, Crash Test. You will see my shenanigans and probably a lot of my dog on Instagram there. Mudawatt. Is that how you say it? Mudawatt with the $83. I don't know what that is. How do I... I'll feature this because I can. Wait, does it allow me to do... Wait. What am I doing? Right there. See? He's sending the lemons. The lemons in the chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. You actually just bought my 2-liter soda. I appreciate it. So I literally went out to and bought that 2-liter specifically for this stupid stream. So that was actually funny. But all right, let's keep going. Let's count how many we have here. We have 4, 8. There's a 12, and then we have 13, 14, 15. 1/2 right there. So there's 1/2 of the board. We have on the other half here. There's 10. All right, so let's do the math here. We need this one. Wait, hold on. Brain is trying to process right now. That one. My hands are all slimy still. Still slimy, so it's hard to get these out. All right, get that. And this one. All right, that's all we need. We need to do, really, that's it? We need to do 6 more. Okay, cool. We don't need to do that many more. Let's go. So let's put those off to the side. Put my little tool over here because I don't actually need that. Mud A-Watt. It's $3 Australian. My money ain't much, but I hope it contributes to your next Sprite or something. Well, oh wait, it's you that's been chatting. I bet just looking at you at the profile picture. Yeah, no, it will contribute towards the Sprite for the stream. I appreciate it. Like, you are covering somewhat of my Sprite for the stream, so this is perfect. I need to finish up these 6. That actually makes sense that you're in Australia. I mean, I didn't know that you're from Australia until you said that it is. But yeah, I have a lot of people around this time that are like, I'm assuming most people are overseas during this time of a stream, and I found that this time is like better for everyone involved somewhat. I do still do night streams, but this is one of them. So for optimal performance, you will need to lube the Sprite switches with Sprite. I mean, that'd be a sticky switch, but in theory, it could happen. Could do it. I mean, it wouldn't work, but it would just be disgusting, sticky, ant-infested switches. But I mean, you could do it if you wanted to. Maybe what you do is you boil the Sprite down in a pot, right? You boil it down in a pot, and then you mix it in with like some 205 or something, so it gets like the Sprite aroma. There are ways. We have not explored all the possible avenues of what we can do with Sprite and lubing switches. Italy here, Italy there, Italy here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure someone else in the chat, I mean, I know who they are. It's from Italy also. I'm not going to just say who it is, but I know someone else is from Italy. See, I'm Italian, but I'm not from Italy. So we have a real Italian in the chat. All right, got those all open. Foam modding with a terrible air freshener. Could just slice one up, yeah. Raid Boy, hello, first time watching you live. Well, welcome to the live stream where we are doing something really dumb. The Sprite keyboard. Not sponsored by Sprite, but Sprite sponsor me. Doing something so dumb today. Alright, let's make sure we don't mix up these springs. I am really vibing with this like playlist I have. It's Epidemic Sound. I use them for the no copyright stuff, but This one's pretty decent actually. It's the lo-fi one. So we got that lo-fi going on. Make sure I got notifications here. I see Sander tagged me an hour ago. I could look at that in a second, but... Is this Jazz Epidemic? No, this is their lo-fi playlist on Spotify. Do you know Russian? No, I do not speak Russian. I wish I spoke Russian and a bunch of other languages. That'd be cool, but I don't. I speak only English. That's it. And Google Translate. Probably, thinking about it practically, if I was to learn a separate language, the one that would make most sense, although I might not be able to learn it, would be like Chinese. Because, like, you know, I mean, the keyboard world, basically all the companies for keyboard stuff are in China. It'd be good to know Chinese, like Mandarin. Like, specifically Mandarin would be nice to know, because then I can, like, communicate in their native tongue instead of, like, English and having language barriers, because that's often a thing. Where'd that go? Where'd that go? So that's realistically probably what I would learn is like Mandarin. Hello from Russia. Well, hello. It's crazy that I got people literally everywhere watching me. It's so wild. Like it's always crazy to me. I mean, I guess that's what happens with the internet, you know? You get people from everywhere. Like, I mean, that's the beauty of the internet, right? It connects everyone everywhere. All right, we got one more, and then we can start finishing them up here. From India also. That's awesome that I have people in India, Russia. I know I have people in Italy, smaller European countries. I can't pinpoint them, but like all places. Especially if you like look on my website and stuff, like the analytics, you'll see it's just everywhere. Everywhere. All over the world. Which is just insane. Alright, let's count out. There's 2. We got 4, 6. Perfect. There's the exact amount we need. Alright, we are almost ready to begin building the actual PCB here, which should be a simpler build. I mean, it's a PCB build, so it should be simple, but yeah, I'm gonna have to grab a PCB from behind me, actually, because I didn't grab one for this video. Your English is easy to understand. I do not know why I do not speak English perfectly. A comfortable stream, thank you. Well, I'm glad you can understand it. I know people use subtitles on my videos too. Like you can see all that in the analytics. It's kind of crazy. You can see it. I mean, majority of my audience is American, right? The majority is like 50%, I think. But yeah, I do have people all over. And YouTube does a good job of auto-generating subtitles, which is cool. So it means that people can actually access my content even if they don't speak English. So that is good. I mean, I've even used that on YouTube. I don't know, people might not know about that. That's why I'm kind of mentioning this right now, is that YouTube does have like auto-translate for subtitles. So if you ever have a video that's not in your language that you speak, you can auto-translate that and be able to actually watch it, which is like, I think an underrated like feature of YouTube. Like a way underrated feature. Any suggestions on inboard horizontal rotary encoder scroll? I want one that doesn't stick up off the top of the board, but couldn't find a reasonable part and mouse through with them search query. There's basically only one that exists, but it's super expensive. I don't know the exact part, but it's like MSK something, I think. It's really expensive because they're not made anymore. And some people have posted in the Discord. If you search for like encoder, and you'll probably see images of it. It's like the only part that exists. It's just so expensive. So that's the one I would recommend. Like, that's the only one I know of. Right now I'm learning German, but it's literally English V2. It's really easy. I don't know. German seems like it wouldn't be very easy. It does not seem easy. Please tell me which 3D printer is best under $300. Probably one of the new Ender, like, V3s. I think the V3 is... I mean, I can't say it's the best. Here, I'll drop you a link. I'll drop you a link right now so you know which one I'm referring to, because I've seen good news on this. I haven't used it. But it is... Let me go grab this for you. I think it's like $199. I think it's the V3. Or no, it's $299. Or just the KE. No, that's the KE. This one, the SE. Here, I'll link it. I know I'm not sharing my screen. I don't want to share my screen right now. This one, affiliate link, by the way. Do you have to, for legal reasons, have to say that? Yeah. But yeah, that's probably the one I would recommend based on what I know of that printer. I haven't personally used it, so like I can't vouch for it. I just know that for under the $300 price point, that's probably your best bet. Like the most refined overall. Even though some people will trash on Enders, you will have to tune in, still mess with it and stuff. It's a 3D printer. It's not a bamboo, right? But that's probably what I'd recommend. Don't you think the A1 is better though? I still got an old Ender 3 inches eating up so much time to get it running nicely. I think the A1 is good if you have the budget for it. The $400 base point of that, you know, you said under 300, so there's points to this. Is that I would say if you can save up for the A1, right? But if your price point is hard set at $300, you know, you're not going to enter into the bamboo world with that. It's just kind of how it goes. I got to go see you later, Toby. See you, Toby. So yeah, I think the A1, the P1, the bamboos, all those are really easy to use, but the Enders are fine if you're willing to do the tuning. The older Enders are a lot bigger pain in the ass, right? Like the really old Enders that I actually run back there. So like that's an Ender, original Ender back there. Then those are pros. That's a pro over there. And then the one, you can't really see it, but that's a broken one there. They work if you're willing to tune them, right? So it's kind of really up to you with those printers. But price point is a consideration too. And I don't want to be accused of, you know, just shilling Bamboo Lab, because I am technically sponsored by them now. So, like, you know. Is that the Xiaomi, right? Xiaomi screwdriver set? No, this is the... I linked the one I use down below, too. I just got to say these, because those affiliate links help, but... this is the Fantic X5. I actually use this one. This is the one that's linked, it should be. I use the electric one. It's awesome, even though I dropped it and bent it, but... Yeah, I use this thing for pretty much everything. I'm trying to keep up with chat here because we're kind of like popping off now because we're like halfway through the stream. The A1 Mini is like $200 though, right? Yeah, it is, but the build plate's small. It's so tiny that it's not even practical for 40% boards. You can do splits on it. Like you could do, I don't have it with me right now, but you could do splits on the A1 Mini. But you'd have to do them like one side at a time. It's too small for most stuff. Keycaps would be a good use for that one. But like for any keyboard stuff, like you're not gonna fit this on the build plate. This just won't fit. This barely fits on the like the A1 or the P1S build plate. You have to angle it. This one kind of fits like that borderline, but you have to kind of angle it. So yeah, like there are considerations there with build volume also. But at this point, we have our switches prepared. We have some leftover Franken switches here. Pop those together. I think this one does have the 35-gram spring in it, which I will have to investigate fixing that at some point. Or not. Is that Acto Matcha? So these are Franken switches of Creamy Yellow Pro and Matcha Green Pro with a 35-gram spring swap. So that's what I got there. I'm going to just put these on the ground for now. I might have to mod another one. I have to grab a PCB from behind me, so I'm going to just roll back there really quick. You know what? I actually just realized I have these PCBs popping around here. So these are the exact same PCBs as the ones I sell in my shop and everything. which if you're not aware, this board is on my shop. If you want to build this PCB kit, I sell the kits for this. You know, sell it on there. Shameless promotion there. But these ones here, the only difference that you can see, those are gold. So this is E&IG plating. So these are the gold pads on this, which since I've ordered these specifically just for me. I'm not selling these on my shop or anything. These are mine and they're really expensive to get made, but I'm going to do this one with the gold ones just because I can. And I have them just sitting over there. So why not build it with the gold ones, you know? Why not? And if you've never ordered PCBs before, they're such a pain to get open because they like shrink wrap them like this. So how do you store your PCBs? ESD bags? So no, these I don't have to do ESD or anything because there's no chips on them. Technically for these PCBs, I have to figure out when I start selling these integrated PCBs how I'm going to do this. There's like special bubble wrap you can get and stuff. But you do have to be a little bit more careful about ESD, even though it still have like ESD protection. It doesn't protect if you shock it there or something, right? So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But these ones here, you don't have to worry about it. It's literally just a matrix board. Like there's no components on this that can break, so you don't have to worry about it. But what you do have to worry about is how the hell you get these open because they're such a pain in the ass. They're like all sealed in here. So yeah, you have to like, it's just a really destructive process to have to get into these. To like just peel them open. God, I do have to say that these PCBs, they look so good. These are from Next PCB, actually. Part of when I did a sponsored stream for them, they gave me credit on their store to get PCBs, and like their quality, they're expensive, but their quality is just so good on their PCBs. I use JLC for all my stuff though, actually, because JLC's prices are just better. They're pretty much most affordable in the entire industry. But yeah, like, I mean, look at that. Oh, I mean, that's literal gold. Like that's not gold color. That's gold. That's actual gold on that board. So kind of crispy. I should really get my ender running again. Put like 150 mods into a clipper, new hot end assembly and everything, but just so frustrating. Nothing works. Just takes so much time and effort. Yeah, that's why I recommend the bamboos to a lot of people if you have the budget for it. Is the enders? There's two types of people when it comes to 3D printing. There's me, right, that enjoys tinkering on them. But I'm kind of in both boats where I enjoy tinkering on them, but sometimes I just want to print a keyboard. I don't want to mess with the printer for 3-4 hours, right? I don't want to be killing my back, bending over that table back there to reach the printer back there, lifting the heavy thing up to fix it and stuff. It's just, there's two people there, right? There's people that want to tweak them and the ones that don't. And you have to decide which boat you're in. If you're in the boat where you don't want to tweak a printer, bamboo's probably where you're going to want to go. You know, if you're willing to tweak the printer though, you will save money. You'll get pretty good prints off a printer that's cheaper, but you're going to have to mess with it. Like more than likely, you're going to have to mess with it. Unfortunately, a lot of the 3D printing stuff is kind of in the boat of you get what you pay for, right? So kind of is. How many keyboards do you have? In my room right now, I've ran out of space. I've like started to stack them on top of each other. In my room right now, I have like, I think 27, I think. I know I've designed 28. I built somewhere along like 50 in the past 2 years or so. But why do you get gold pads just to get covered with solder? Pretty much the only reason is that it's looks, but for stuff like this specifically, this is probably fine here too, but when you start getting really fine pitched, so this is considered a fine pitch component right there, how close those are, you get the gold because it's leveled better, right? Like there's a technical difference between them, but basically for most things, it doesn't matter. For most keyboard related stuff, it doesn't matter. It's mostly just looks. So on this one, it's just looks really. Extended pause for keyboards. Yeah, no, I don't know if I even have a picture. I have like 30 keyboards in my room, 27 of them. Keyboards that companies have sent me. Those are kind of in my closet. I got keyboards down here. I got keyboards everywhere. Like I have so many keyboards. So, by the way, Ender 3 V3 SE is 180 in Russia. I have a slightly bigger budget, so is there something better under 300 to 350? If your budget's 350, 300 to 350, I'd probably recommend stretching for the A1 at 399 at that range, you know. But you could probably move up to the Ender 3 V3 KE, which is like $300. That's kind of, I think it's like a faster one. It's newer. But really, any like Ender 3, the newer gen ones, like the V3, V3 KE, SE, from what I've seen on those, I haven't personally used it, but from what I've seen, they are better than the original Enders, right? They're a lot more thought out. But what I want to do is actually get into this build now. So I of course have to snap off these ends here. On the Scotto wing here, I made it so you can just kind of grab this and they pop right off, which is so nice. So you can do a 3x5 layout. So there's the 3x5 PCB. I could just throw those away. I am gonna grab, I want to shave these off, but it is fiberglass, so I don't want to like get it all in my hands. I'm gonna actually grab this here. I'm just gonna kind of shave these down a little bit with a, I don't want to ruin my nice one, so I gotta grab one from behind me. These are my nice clippers here. These are my nice ones. I have my crappy ones that don't even have a spring, and I use those for shaving down these little nubs. So there's that. Tap down the floor so I don't have fiberglass dust up here. Forbidden magic dust. Yeah, you don't wanna breathe that shit. You don't wanna like touch that. You just get rid of it. At some vendors you can't even get hazel anymore. Yeah, because it's leaded. I think that's part of it, but I don't know if this is leaded too. I don't know how it works, but alright. Those might need to shave a little bit more actually. Technically, you can sand this, but it's also a bad idea to do that, so I'm not going to do that. Now, the other thing I didn't mention with this, too, is that I'm not actually going to be putting hot swaps on it because I want to save those for the kits that I sell. I'm just going to solder directly to them because what I do is you can see I use these plated holes, so I can solder directly to it. It's a little bit janky, but it does work, so, yeah. All right, so that goes that way. All right, that fits in there nicely now. And we need to get the diodes on this. We need to get the actual sockets. Let's start with the diodes, of course. So we will begin with these. Let me turn on my filter over here. Small files are really great to get the edges just perfect. Yeah, you can use a file on it. I just don't like doing it because of dust. So I like to be a little bit more careful with that. So I don't want to breathe in fiberglass dust. So in Hazel, they dip into a big vat of liquid solder, coating the raw copper pads with it. Yeah, but I thought they did that same process for... All right, you're explaining that. And then gold plate is obviously plating copper. Okay, so for this, they plate the copper. So this is plated copper, whereas the other one's just soldered level, I think they call it. So yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's begin here. All right, so we can start getting these diodes in. Which side do I do it on? I do it on this side. Yes, that is correct. Other than the Nice Nano, is there another board you would suggest to make a Bluetooth keyboard? The only one I know of is the Nice Nano, and then also there are the XIAO controllers, but they have like limited GPIOs, so they're kind of, you have to consider if you're able to build your board within those limitations. And we will, of course, be doing a type A test on this in this stream towards the end at some point. But we have to, of course, get there first. I'm really curious how these super light switches are going to feel. I'm really curious about that. So we will see if they're nice or not. I really want to know how the switches are going to sound. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to sound good. The feel might be the weird thing with them. But I also, another thing I didn't mention is that this case has so much matte. So this is the Scotto wing, obviously. This is like the thin edition, I call it, because it's like so, it's different than the other ones. But this has a lot of like room on it in the case. I didn't print this solid, but it might sound good because of how like thick the case is. We'll see. We'll see how that actually functions. We'll find out. DO35 or SOD diode case, what's your favorite? I think DO35 because you're more using your keyboards. So it depends on the board, really. DO35, of course, for hand wiring, you're not gonna be hand wiring surface mount diodes. Like, that's not gonna happen. But DO35 is easier for a beginner, so that's why I went with on the Scotto wing. I made it easier for a beginner to build because through hole is a lot easier. But the surface mount ones are a lot better for routing. So like on chalkboards, I'll use the surface mount ones more because they're just easier to route everything. It gives you more options because these are obviously bigger. Like it takes up more room for a through hole diode than a surface mount. So that's kind of a consideration there. You have to take into account. Which controller will you use? I will be using in this build. Where did I put it? Where did that? The RP2040. So this isn't going to be wireless. It's just going to be the RP2040 build, which is my new favorite board. Any reason you're still using through-hole diodes on a PCB? SMT is so much nicer. Simply because it's just better from a product perspective. That's why I just kind of explained it, but that's why I use it on this board. Is that for a product, it's just easier for someone to build it. If you're selling it as a kit, it makes it a lot easier for them to build if it's through-hole diodes, especially like a beginner. Like, I don't think surface mount diodes are hard to solder, but that's because, you know, I built like 50 or 60 boards at this point now. It's like second nature to me, but someone who's just starting out, they're going to struggle really hard with through-hole. Even though I know people have bought my Scotto 34 board who've never built one before, and they've succeeded just fine with it, but it's just one of those things to take into account. All right. What am I looking for? This. Look how many diode legs I have on that from the last like 2 days of building. Like, I haven't cleaned it off. I normally do clean it off, but I'm just kind of, I don't even actually know. I am gonna clean that off because they're like almost not sticking to it because there's so many on it. So like, look at that. Kind of fun to play with, but they're just like little spiky things here. Diode porcupine. So having more people are starting to use RP2040s. When I first started out, they were a lot less common. Yeah, well, part of that is that support for it only started in the last like year or two, from what I've seen, specifically with QMK. So that's kind of the big reason that even I like was recommending the Arduino a year ago, and all my builds were kind of the Atmega 32U4. But I switched away from that because like the RP2040 does everything I need, and it's just a better chip. It's more affordable. It's faster. I don't know if it's faster actually, CPU wise, but it has more GPIO. It has more flash memory, which is a big one for key maps. So yeah. Is there any reason you don't put on-off switches on your wireless boards? I do. On this one, this one is my first wireless board. Well, not my first wireless hand board, but this has a switch right there. Specifically on my wireless hand wire boards, I don't use a switch because it's another thing to kind of mess with and hand wire in. But also with ZMK Deep Sleep, it doesn't really matter because like once the board sits for 10-15 minutes, it goes to sleep mode and saves a ton of battery anyway. And I use big batteries too. But when a switch is really useful is like if you put the board in a backpack. So on the wireless Scotto Frog, I use what's called a locking layer, where you basically hold like 3 keys together and it will lock the board. So then it won't activate any keys. It'll still turn on, but it won't like activate any key presses. So like, there's ways to not need a switch basically. I mean, actually, now thinking about this too, with these, if I'm not soldering the hot swaps on this, we're gonna actually be able to see those gold patch, which will kind of be cool if you ever open the board. Maybe I can take some beauty shots of it with that. Do you know of any reasonable service that I can use to get something CNC'd out of aluminum? I would like a nice case for my build I'm working on. We actually talked about this yesterday in this stream. PCBWay, JLC PCB, pretty much all the big like China fabs will have CNC services. I've never actually used them, so I don't know how quality is. But it's very expensive. That's the rule of thumb here, is that, you know, for a CNC keyboard case, you're looking at like $100 to $200, maybe even more, depending on the size of it. So it's just really up to you if you want to do that, but those are the services you should use. I'd probably lean more towards JLC just because, like, they're the one I would personally use if I had to choose, but I've never used any of those services. I don't really plan on it, right? Yeah, Astrum, JLC, they have JLC PCB and then JLC 3DP for their 3D print and, like, CNC stuff, but it's all, like, JLC. JLC pricing stunned me. In what sense? Because I know that their PCBs, like, talking to them and talking to other people, JLC's pricing is actually, like, the lowest in the industry to the point where other companies can't compete. Like, I think they recoup some of their pricing through shipping, I'm pretty sure, but, like, their stuff is so affordable. Yeah, PCBWay is expensive, pretty much on all fronts. This one here this PCB is actually from Next PCB. I would say their quality is actually better than a lot of the fabs I've used, but their pricing matches that. Like, I think 5 of these was like $40 or $50 without shipping. It was pretty expensive. I mean, the coating, the gold plating has somewhat to do with that, but... How about make a worked keychain keyboard like your pendant? I don't know what you're saying, worked keyboard, but some people might. Yeah, it's actually, you must have been around for a while if you know about the pendant, because that's from the, well, I guess you did say that you watched the PCB videos. That pendant was so stupid that I made that thing, but I gotta start wearing that thing more too. Definitely, if I go to any keyboard meetups, I'm gonna wear that pendant to it because it's just kind of crazy. I get so confused navigating this PCB site. It's overwhelming when you don't know. Yeah, it can be a little bit. Watch my PCB video if you haven't seen it. Towards the end, I explain how to order the PCBs. It's actually a lot simpler than you would think. You basically don't have to care about pretty much all the options. Like, you don't have to. You have to worry about, like, 2 things on there. And it pre-populates most of it. Almost done with 1/2 of the board. I'm trying to build a hand wire for the first time. What kind of wire do you recommend for wiring the switches? So I used to, on my one video, I recommended this stuff here. I'll cut a piece. My, like, original video. This stuff is dog shit. It's that solid core stuff. So what I use is I'll cut a piece of this. This is silicone wire. It's very flexible. I'm going to just link it because, you know, I keep saying this. I don't know why I don't just link this stuff, because I just link it and then it's a win-win. You get a product, I get money for suggesting product. Let me actually get the exact one I use because this stuff is great. It's really good. It's what I use in all my builds now. I used to recommend Ethernet wire too, but Ethernet wire is not as flexible. This stuff here specifically, copper or 28 gauge silicone wire. It's kind of a little pricey, but this stuff, that's exactly what I use for all my builds for the last, like, probably 6-7 months. It's been exactly this stuff. So you just get a wire stripper too to strip it. So you just go like this, and you see it pulls off, and that's what you're left with right there. Just some wire. Yeah, no, silicone wire is expensive. It's expensive stuff, but it works good, and it saves you headache. Like with this stuff here, the solid core, like, it's just, it doesn't work the way you want it to, right? the flexible stuff just bends however you want it, and it's more heat resistant, so you're not gonna like melt it as easily. So when you're applying like a ton of heat, you're not gonna melt through it and cause a short or something. So the same with Ethernet wire. Ethernet wire is kind of a healthy medium, I think, between them in terms of price. It's really cheap and it's a little bit more flexible, but silicone wire, you really can't beat it. You really can't beat silicone wire. What's the difference between 28 gauge and 16 gauge? Just the thickness. 16 gauge is this is 16 gauge right here. This is raw copper wire. So the 28 gauge is that there, so you can see how thin it is. So this is technically copper. I think it's just plated with like solder on it to make it easier to connect, but that's that. And then I have like 14 gauge here too, so you can see just the thickness. That's what the gauge refers to. Also, I have this one I can show. This is 30 gauge. So 30 gauge, you can see it's super thin, right? It's just how thick the wire is, that's all. I hate AWG units. Yeah, when I was actually designing some of my like wire wrapping tools and stuff, like these tools, I have this one that's on the repo. You can build it. I had to like search up the actual wire to like millimeter dimension, right? Kind of get the proper length there, because AWG doesn't really tell you much. I think it's not very explanatory. This playlist is just, ooh, it's going good. It's going good. Liking it. Right, there's that. I will have to remember. Someone try to remind me of this later. Before I put the switches and the plate on, I have to get the standoffs in here. Someone please try to remind me of that. Because if not, it's going to be a real pain in the ass. Because the way I designed this case is a little wonky. But specifically this one, like the hot swap version, this doesn't matter. It's just when I build it this way where I solder them, which you're technically not supposed to do with this build. You're supposed to use hot swaps. Doing it that way is not the way it's supposed to be built. So you have to put the things on first. Diode. Actually, let's get some. Remember, sponsored by Sprite. Well, no, not sponsored by Sprite. Sprite sponsor me. Crisp lemon lime soda. Can you also link the copper wire you use as just bare copper? Yeah, sure, I'll do that. I will do that. It's also expensive, kind of, but you get a ton of it. It lasts me like hundreds of builds, so it lasts a while. Yeah, it should also be in the video description, but I'll just link the exact one because they kind of changed the seller, I think. It's this stuff here. Oh yeah, stream description. Yeah, either one. You'll probably find it down below, but that's the copper wire too. That's what I use. It's expensive, but like it will get you pretty much every build you'll ever have to do. You'll get it for most people, unless you're like me and build thousands of them. I've had to buy that a bunch of times because I use it a lot, but it lasts a bunch of builds. Yeah, the copper wire, it's expensive. You could order it from AliExpress, I think, too. But, like, shipping and things like that, and it kind of works out to be the same. Some of the other stuff you can get on AliExpress cheaper. You could probably find the silicone wire cheaper on AliExpress. But then you have to wait for the shipping and stuff, too. And those aren't affiliate links for me, so you know. I like the Amazon stuff, even though you can get the stuff cheaper on Amazon. If I use the bare copper wire from some Romex, will that work? I think it should. It's just copper wire. Like, I don't imagine that being an issue. I just don't know how thick it would be in Romex, or if it'd be, like, square and stuff, which might be weird. As long as it's just copper and it doesn't have, like, a coating on it that you have to scrape off, because there is a magnet wire, which has, like, a coating, or enamel wire you have to kind of scrape off. But as long as it's copper wire, if you can put a multimeter and you can get, like, signal along the whole line, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. I often actually use a different type of wire. This is brass wire. That works too. So as long as it can conduct, you should be fine. You could probably even like take apart like extension cords, like thicker ones of those might have it inside too. There's a lot of options. You can even just use like wire to tie everything together. But my method just relies on the 16 gauge with heat shrink around it. Is 16 gauge for the matrix and 28 gauge to wire the matrix to the controller? Yep. I use the 16 gauge solid wire for the matrix, columns and rows. Sometimes I will use different ones there, and then depending on the build, I'll use like flexible wire or not. And then I use the silicone wire to wire to the MCU because you want that flexible to be able to reach easier. Just helps with everything. Watch died. My watch died. Don't get me wrong, I love Apple Watches, but like, it's dead. It's dead. I don't have a watch now. Oh shit. Yeah. I gotta flip those. Great. Put them on the wrong side. Let's see how we can get these out now. I mean, technically that would probably work. Actually, still, it would technically still work, but I'm gonna flip them just for consistency. Wouldn't be a Scotto stream without messing something dumb up. I mean, how am I going to get those out? I have to probably clip these right on down. That technique, yeah, that's something I forget where I learned that. It's probably YouTube actually, but yeah, you just have to be careful you don't get like hot solder splash. You just gotta be careful about that. But that is how you free these up, kind of like a desoldering quick tip there. So you desolder with a solder sucker to get the majority of it out. God, this thing sometimes jams up so annoyingly. And we can just heat it up. Boom, clean. Perfect, let's go. Perfect. I just beat the hell out of it. Beat the hell out of the PCB really quick. All right, let me grab a towel so I can actually wipe up some of this lead all over. So I don't want that just getting all over my hands. I'll brush some of it onto the ground and sweep that up, but that should be cool. Okay, so that should be ready to go again now. Let's make sure we get them on the right side this time. This goes like this. Now we can pop these in. Much better. All right. Just a momentary dumb moment. Putting diodes on the wrong side. Even though they were the right orientation still, but like, yeah, they would have worked, but I don't want them on that side. I want them on the proper side. Wish I'd known that trick before I screwed up a board desoldering MCU to it. MCUs are a bigger pain in the ass. That's why on my boards I use these, the pin sockets. So that makes life so much easier using pin sockets. Because if you do mess up your MCU, you can just pull it down and put a new one in. It's really more important for like boards like that are really expensive, such as like, you know, a nice Nano that's 25 bucks a pop. But like for an RP2040 board, it's not as crucial. It's just you pretty much bind it to your PCB if you solder it. Don't use the... Alright, we got like 12 more diodes to do. They're just like flung towards me, but got like 12 more diodes to do, and then we will be able to solder the switches on, have a functioning board, or actually assemble the standoffs first and then have a functioning board. Because if I don't put the standoffs on first, I won't be able to actually get them later. Get those off. Let's grab some more diodes here. Maybe I do like a Pepsi themed keyboard after this one, and then like a Coke themed one, and all types of different themed keyboards just because it's just so stupid but funny. Maybe I do that. That'd actually be a good internet point ability there. RC Cola. Where is RC Cola from? Isn't that like a store brand? That's a store brand, right? I mean, I know of RC Cola. I just don't know, is it like an actual soda brand or is it like a store brand soda? Oh wait, isn't it Simpsons or something? Explain to me, what is RC Cola? Because I feel like they're number 3 of beverage companies. I don't get that. What do you mean? Explain. Alright, we've been streaming for about 2 hours now. This is when I start to get hungry. Starting to get hungry. Actually, you know what? No lead on my hands. The sander's still here. I'm minced here. They'll hold me over for maybe another hour. I don't know if the stream will actually go on another hour because I'm almost done with this build, but... Sander is still here, watching over me for my lead poisoning. Oh, Pepsi, Coke, and then RC. Gotcha. So just another big distributor, I guess, of sodas. Probably gonna end up getting sued for building the Sprite keyboard. I'm gonna get sued for the Sprite keyboard. Copyright or trademark infringement or something. Listen, Sprite should thank me for bringing them into the modern age of keyboards, okay? That's what this should be. They should appreciate. If only I integrated some type of cup into the keyboard. You see, I could have been able to drink Sprite while keyboarding. Scotto's lawsuit arc. Oh, wouldn't that be some shit? I build a keyboard, just a stupid Sprite keyboard, and I get hit with a damn lawsuit from Sprite saying that I infringed their copyright and I owe them damages. I mean, no matter how you look at that, that'd be good for me probably in some way. I mean, I'd be getting sued, yes, but the publicity I get from that, of Sprite suing just a keyboard builder, like, I mean, just think about it here. Got 2 more diodes and then we're there. You gotta do the standoffs. If you had a hole in the middle, you could put a straw through Sprite cup lid keyboard. Yeah, it's like a split. You put your tea in the middle of a split keyboard. This one you can just put your drink in the middle of it, right? Or like a lid. Put a straw through to your drink and there you go. We do have to do the sockets too. I have to do those. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to get the sockets on and then I'm going to flash my firmware. Got a snack board. Wait, lead. I'm going to lead poison myself to death. I want to get the firmware on this board too, because I don't want to go through the whole process of carefully socketing it. I'm just going to socket it quickly without the Captain tape. Some of you might know what I'm referring to there, but if I do it this way, I don't have to do that. Then I can just get it done a little quicker with that. Boot it. Should be in boot mode. Nope, that didn't go to boot. That's just one. There we go. This one, right? Alright, that should be flashed now, ready to go. One of the people are mentioning Glarses right now. I actually have the Glarses switches, the purples, which I'm pretty sure they're just browns but purple. I'm not sure. But I have a whole build plan where I want to do like a whole purple build. Maybe I'll just even send it to Glarses. You know, collaborate with one of the big YouTubers. But I have like the switches and everything. It'd just be kind of funny to do like a Glarses theme board, because purple is one of my colors that I really like too, so that could be funny. Question: when you're doing a button matrix, do you have to fill all the column rows with buttons, or could you, example, have one column of only 2 buttons in a 3x3 matrix? Yes, it's kind of hard to explain. But basically, it's just a grid, and you can leave any keys out of that. As long as you have the diodes and stuff, we'll pretty much know. We'll pretty much know where you need stuff to be. I think they use the MX clear molds for the Glarses. I wonder. He would love that. I don't think he does any Ergo-style boards. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he does. Actually, what's kind of funny with Glarses is, I'm not a big YouTuber, right? I have like 13K right now. But he was in New York City with MKBHG's studio. So like that's only like 4.5 hours, 5 hours for me. So collab was closer than you think, right? Maybe it's Glars's collab would be good. I've talked to Glars's like on a stream and stuff a few times. He's aware of me. He's commenting on some of my videos. That should be right? He is here for his Frisbee keyboard. Yeah, the weird like ring keyboard. Right, get those all prepared. Over there. Someone remind me before I start soldering any switches that I need to get my standoffs on this. Please remind me. You're the biggest 3D printed handwiring keyboard creator I know of. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm like the only one, I guess, that does it. Oh wait, I can actually take off one pin here. I don't need all those pins. Do razor blades scare the shit out of anyone else? Like, I hate working with razor blades because they're so sharp. Just, I don't like it. Jesus, flung across the room, and then I just get it far away from me. Just, I don't like them. Do not like them. I should use Captain tape for this, but I'm just gonna use regular old Scotch tape. Oh, there we go. Yeah, razors are yikes. Yeah, no, I do not like them at all. I don't like them. I've only cut myself with a razor a few times, and it sucks because it's so easy. It just slices right through. It's not fun. We're getting close to having a board here. I'm getting excited to see how the Sprite board looks. Oh man, the Sprite keyboard. A revolution in the keyboard industry, you see. You've taken consumerism to a new level. At least the wounds heal well. Super clean cuts means super clean repair. Yeah, like scalpels. It's basically scalpel. Scalpels are sharper, actually, I'm pretty sure. Like, ridiculously sharp. Just, honestly, I'll rephrase the entire thing. Sharp things in general scare the hell out of me. I just don't like sharp stuff. Like, it's just not, it's not fun. Sharp stuff bad. I mean, sharp stuff good when you need sharp stuff, but sharp stuff bad when you use sharp stuff that hurts you, right? Right, there are all our pins. Those look pretty clean. Please tell me I got them on the right side. I did. Okay, just making sure. I use these blades quite often. Have a couple of cuts now on my fingers. Yeah, I mean, I want to cover his pog tool. I tried. so I could switch focus between computers with keyboard and mouse. I don't think the one thing that ZMK firmware doesn't support yet, because I'm pretty sure I think I had a client ask about this for commission about ZMK having firmware with mouse inputs. I don't think it's possible currently. It's something on their like roadmap. So even if you like had a nice Nano, it wouldn't do voiding device stuff. I think that's up to code. I don't know. I don't know if that's up to code, honestly. Trackpad only seemed interesting. However, the circ feels too small to be usable. So I've looked at the circ a few times. I've almost actually bought a few of them a few times too. But here's my thing when it comes to the circ is that I have Mac devices, right? I have a MacBook and I have the Magic Trackpad. So both of them have the Magic Trackpad, of course. When you use a Magic Trackpad, anything that doesn't have multi-input or multi-gesture control, just, I don't even want to use that. I don't even want to mess around with it. So, like, it'd be cool to do. I think I do still want to do something with it, but, like, it's not going to come anywhere close to the ultimate, the Magic Trackpad. So, any suggestions for how to properly set up a rotary encoder so that it works on a flippable board? I'm running into shorts trying to get the pads to not overlap. I don't know. I've never done a rotary encoder like that, like on a reversible one. I think it'd probably be easier with, say, a normal encoder. The one you want to use, the horizontal one, might be part of the problem there. Right, I should actually be able to test if this works as a board after this. It should give me some inputs. Oh yeah, let me just quickly test this because those are all soldered on. You can see. Just breathed in some flux fuse. That sucked. Ugh. I got a stray one. But yeah, that's my method. That looks so good on there with the soldering of it. Let's plug this in. Should connect, and then I'll just test it really quick with a tweezer. You guys can't see anything right here. Not that it really matters because I'm just testing. Yep, we got M there, we got key there, key there, key there. Yep, we have keys. We are good. We are ready to begin the switches, and I have to do standoffs. So we have to do standoffs. Let me switch back to my this. Kyle, what board is this and what soda are we using for the theme? So this is the Scotto Wing PCB edition. I sell these on my site if you want to actually get one of these and build one. But we're calling it the Sprite edition because that Sprite edition. So I do have to probably clip those. Do I have to clip those? I don't know if I actually have to. I think I do. Forget. No, they're far enough. I'm good. So let me get my standoffs. I have them in a thing over here so I can grab those. Where are my standoffs? I need the smaller ones for this. I need 6 mils. So these are the 6 mil. I need the smaller screws. Where are my small screws? Top one. Those should be 3 mil. And yeah, I have my 3x4 mil. That's what I need. Alright, so let's get started on this. I'm going to use my good screwdriver for this part. And actually put this one away, so I don't need this one. I want to use my nice one, not my crappy one. My manual one. Right, so let's put this here. Take this. Let's also unplug this. So, let's get, I need my 4 mils for the top, right? Yes, I need 4 mil. Is that technically how this goes? Or does 4 mil go on the bottom? Forget. Like, yeah, 4 mil screws go on the bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we need these for the top. Those are all the screws we need. What is the best tenting solution you recommend? I just built my first chalk by. I don't know. Maybe someone else knows about tenting solutions. On my boards that I've done, I use like just built-in tenting, how I design the board. So I can't really help too much there. I know there's like tripod things too. Ever thought about doing a Scotto key meetup? Yes, but I don't think there's enough followers of mine where it would actually work, you know? 13,000 people isn't that many, and a lot of my people are international, so I have thought about going to the New York City meetup, though. I'm trying to get tickets for this month, because it's only like 5 hours for me, but tickets are sold out, so it might be hard to do that. Like, a meetup wouldn't be good if there's only going to be, like, one person there, right? Like, no offense to that one person, but it's not. It wouldn't be worth it, is what I'm getting at. So, I need to get these here. Wait, am I wrong here? Are these not? Is it smaller ones on the bottom? Wait, no, I'm completely wrong with this build. I need 4 mils on both sides. What am I doing? It's because it's a thicker case. I need 4 mil on both sides, so that's fine. I'm thinking with the PCB edition, it's a thinner case, which uses 3 mils on the bottom. It does not, because this one uses 4 mils on both. You know, I want to bring my builds to a meetup. I'm trying to get into the New York one. I'm trying for this month. I mean, they do them every month, I think. There's normally like 150, 200 people there from what I've seen. Should be a decent one to go to. And I have like family there I can stay with, so it wouldn't be an expensive trip for me to even make. Other than, you know, like the tolls to get into the city, which would suck, but other than that. Last New York City Mech meetup was in April. Yeah, they have one coming up on June or July 27th. There's one coming up, but tickets are sold out. So I emailed the organizer to see if I can get in somehow, but rare sighting of just gotta stay very close to the camera. There you go, hair stream. Yeah, you gotta be careful doing that to not have my hair like be in the thing. Gotta make sure these are cranked down. Now this wouldn't be I wouldn't have to get these standoffs off if this was the hot swap version, but since I'm just doing this, I don't want to waste my hot swaps on just a stupid board like this, and I don't ever plan on like switching the switches because they're so like custom for this build basically. I am soldering direct to the holes on here, but with that, it's basically I don't have any holes in the plate for this. Kind of how I designed this board to keep the plate clean. This is not positioned the way I want. This is actually cramping my finger. There we go. Perfect. Just make sure these are cranked on down. Perfect. One more. Wait, do I have them all? 1, 2, no, it's one more right here. All right, those should be on there now. That would sit here. Yep, we have our US. That's one thing I didn't check either, but that does work. Okay, because look how deep that is in there. I make that bigger there so we can get a port all the way in. I mean, that's kind of good for like strain relief on that. It's not going to break the port too easily, but that's that. Now we can actually get these switches in here. And I want to check that this middle part isn't going to interfere with these pins here. I don't think it will because it's so thin, but let me just check. Switch is not closed fully. It's fine. Okay, so we get those in. We'll put a few more. Okay, these switches are not all closed. Hold on. I'm learning something right now about my mod. It's just how these are. Might just be how they are. I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, the stem's fine. I'm not gonna worry about that. Alright, so let's see. I'll put these in. Interfere with those pins or not. Oh, perfect. So those pins are just where I want them. Alright, let's go and get all the switches in. Do you think the split keyboards like the corner better than keys that the Scotto wing where the two parts can't move freely? Um, Arguably they're better for ergonomics because you can position them however you want. This is obviously fixed, so you're gonna be like that, right? Whereas like a cord, you can be like that, you can be like that, you can be like that. But I like these are called monoblocks. I like monoblocks because they're easier to transport. Like even though I don't really bring my keyboards anywhere, it's just one of those things like when you want to move the board, it's not two separate things, it's just one board, right? You just grab it and go. So that's what I like about these, right? Do you know any way to expand case on edges? Case I ordered was 1 millimeter small, so PCB don't go inside hot water or something. Um, Depending on the printer tolerances, the case can be different. Um, Probably sanding the edges of the PCB would be best bet there. That'd probably be the best bet. You can also, I mean, if you have a 3D printer, you can of course scale the cases in there if it doesn't fit. Also, you don't need two MCUs. That's another good point with split boards. You don't need two MCUs if you do like a monoblock like this. It's technically still split because there's two individual halves, but it's just one MCU mounted in the middle. Although I do have my VGA keyboard, you can find that video on my channel where I used a 9-pin DB9 connector to connect them. So You do that too. Get fancy with your cables. Just get more data lines, basically. Did I do too many? I have one too many switches. Cool. I have a leftover. That is looking cool. Getting excited for this. Okay, thanks. I don't have a 3D printer. Might order a new case. Yeah, if you're using like a service to get your 3D printed cases, they're all like different. I don't personally use them, right? But like some of them might have different tolerances and stuff. That is good. Ready to solder these all on. We're getting the Sprite keyboard. Let's go. Let me get some more Sprite. All right. Hands are still all like fluxy a little bit, but make sure these are all aligned. Looks pretty good. Okay, let's flip this over. Push those on in. Start up my iron. Got this fan cranking over here. Who's over here? Could I ask what service are you using for 3D print? I'm assuming you're talking about them, not me, probably. So these plated holes, because they're designed for hot swaps, I kind of like stick the iron in, I'm finding. And I can like really flood it with solder. Yeah, really solder on in there. Been good. I debated doing this build as a video too, but I thought a stream probably worked better for it because like really isn't that much interesting content here, you know? But like, and I probably had more likelihood of getting sued if I did a dedicated video on it. Live stream's a little less official, I guess. I ordered a kit from BT. Leo said he will send replacement, but for me, shipment charge is really high and can't waste money. So wait, you ordered a PCB and a 3D print from them, and it wasn't correct? Like it's a product they sell for both of those? I have to go. Will you post this keep on Discord with a sound test? It will live as a stream on here. So like once the stream's over, you go to my channel, go to the live tab, and you can just skip forward to watch the sound test. So instead of worry about a Sprite sponsorship, you might want to look at a solder sponsorship with that amount of solder. I mean, maybe. Maybe Kester will sponsor me. Sponsor me on lead poisoning. There we go. You know, the way I'm doing this is like super janky, but it works. Huh, so I don't know how to say your name. I'll just call you KM. Yeah, I would say actually that's on them. That's on Beekeep for sending you a case that doesn't work. They should be replacing that for you, because what I do with my boards before I ship them out, not every like case do I test. I test it with a PCB batch and I'm running that the case will work. But I make sure that those work. Like my PCBs work with my cases that I sell, and like if it doesn't, that's on me, right? Like, that's on me if that doesn't work, because that's the product I'm selling. They should be probably replacing that for you. They should be making you pay to get a replacement. So I don't think that's like fair of them to do. I want to see. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that looks so cool. Okay, I gotta finish this thing out. This is getting close to being ready. All right, let's keep going here. I'm telling you guys right now, you're gonna see this on the front page of Mechanical Keyboards. I'm hoping at least, but I'll be posting it on there and hopefully get some of them sweet Reddit points. Gonna do some karma farming. Yes, they told me they'll send a replacement for free, but shipment charge. Oh, I'm forgetting international. You have to pay taxes on the import again, right? Yeah, I mean, that's probably what I would do too, because I don't know how that works. I would definitely, like if it was me, like my shop, you know, I sold something international to someone and it didn't work, I would either refund them. In your case, I'd probably go for a refund. But I wouldn't pay the taxes on that because I don't know enough of how that works. Like, and you can't just take like the customer's word for it too. They're like, oh yeah, it's 20 bucks. Oh, I'm gonna send them 20 bucks. So I think in your case, you'd probably want to go for more of a refund and then find the files and use like a 3D printing service to get it printed. Which is based on what I would do. I would make sure in the first place that the case is proper for the PCBs I'm selling. I wouldn't send a PCB that's not, or I wouldn't send a case that's not working with the piece or the cases I'm selling, right? It's like on them for not making sure. That's just dumb. They should make sure that it works. Wait, 1/2 is almost done. We have 10 more switches now. I'm just flooding this thing with so much solder. So when I start getting like really impatient, when I'm right on the last few switches, I like start getting like all antsy because I'm like, oh, we're almost there, so close. And this will probably more than likely be my daily driver for the next like week or so. Replace my Scotto 37 that I'm using, although I do love that build. The Scotto 37, if you haven't seen the Scotto 37 video, go to my channel and watch that because, ooh, that build is crisp. Other than the weird like random sticking switches, but that's just because I use crappy switches, but really cheap switches, in other words. But that build is really nice. Probably one of my favorite builds I've ever done. Not in terms of layout, just in terms of feel and sound. It's gasket. So, like, it's so good. I gotta definitely do more gasket mount builds. Two more switches. It's there. Hold on. Pause to like this song because damn, this is actually good. Cool. All right, there is everything soldered on up. Clean off my iron. Let's unplug this so it doesn't board my house down. We have this. Let me, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just zoom out here to, I'm going to leave the camera where it is. I'm just going to test this board on a keyboard tester. Back up though, because I just powered it down prematurely. I should have left it on to fix this. So we will heat this bad boy up. I don't know why this thing doesn't suck. It should be sucking better, but it's not. And that cleaned out really good, actually. Wow. Is there a single key hot swap switch checker? Feels like something that might be useful. Single key. I mean, no, I don't think so, actually. I don't know. That's one of those things, though, like, would you go through the process before soldering your whole board to test every switch before soldering them on? Or would you just replace the switch like I'm doing here with the one that doesn't work? Like, you see, I'm just going to literally take this. You know what? This is probably the one, actually. I just realized I didn't get rid of the one from earlier. That was the, like, weird closing one. So I'm pretty sure that's what that is. That was just that switch. But yeah, like, I mean, this is all you do. Just pop it out, pop a new one in, and you should be good to go. So, like, I don't know. I don't think I would do that whole process of testing them all. But this should just work now if I pop this in. Alright, let's give that another test and see. In theory, that should just work now. Yep, that works. Okay. So I'm assuming this was probably the dead switch I had, because I did have a dead switch. What about battery? This one's wired, so it doesn't have a battery. Doesn't need a battery for this one. I don't know why, but those curves and thickness really gives that lemon vibe. I mean, I guess, yeah. It's a lemon lime board, dude. Sprite lemon lime board. Yet again, Sprite, sponsor me. I'm not even like a crazy soda drinker. It's just, I don't know. I drink Sprite from time to time. Sometimes I drink like... Is that good? Sometimes I drink like Pepsi. No, Pepsi and Sprite are my main sodas. Sometimes root beer. There we go. I mean, look at that. That dumb thing. That's looking kind of cool. Alright, so let's actually put our little rubber feet on. Man, the AMS is a game changer for these multicolor prints. Yeah, no, I mean, you could technically do this on, like, an Ender. You just have to do a filament swap. Like, it wouldn't be that hard to do. But yeah, like the AMS, I just press print, and it just works, right? Like, I press print, in a few hours I have a print. This one specifically, I think, took, like, 2 hours, or 3 hours between the plate and the case, so not a very long print. That's also because bamboo printers are just fast. Alright, there's the little rubber feet on it. Okay. Now let's finish it up with the 3D printed keycaps. Now, I don't know if these are going to fit yet. I might have to do the thing with Captain Tape, but... Perfect. They don't even need the Captain Tape. Let's go. ZXCV. V. I am going with the flat caps on this. How much infill for the case? This is at 15%, so it's not very high infill. I typically do 15 on actually everything, because it just works. It's sturdy enough, and in relation to like print time, it just kind of works. I really don't like Coca-Cola. Yeah, no, I'm not a big Coca-Cola fan actually either. I prefer Pepsi. Oh, this thing is so dumb. This is the dumbest board I've ever built. Well, actually, no, technically the dumbest board I've ever built is that Scotto mouse, but this one's also pretty dumb in terms of dumb boards. Those light springs are not that light. I mean, you rest your hand on it, yeah, I think you would be pressing them, but they feel kind of okay. Alright, now that's a Z. That's a Z. That's an N. Yes, yes. That's an N. Wait. Yes, yes. Right, I want to match the bottom ones to this one. So circle will go here. Put a hexagon here. It's my elementary shapes there. Square. Looking at the screens, I have my like preview up there. I could just look here, but I looked at the screen for that for some reason. That F1 is off. Good catch. Thank you. Thank you, Sander. Appreciate it. All right, hold on. W M. Comic Sans, you see? W. That is the M right here. Present to you the Scotto Wing Sprite Edition. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. I actually really like it. I am going to clean up my little mess here really quick, just so I can actually type on this, but that's the build overall. That's what we got. So we finally have it. It took 2.5 hours to do it, mainly because we had to do the switch swap. So we do have the... I'm going to have to take all these off again to get a picture of this for Reddit, but I'll do that in a different time because that's going to take forever to do. But I'm going to clean up because I don't want a massive mess down. I always do this on stream. It's cleanup time. Cleanup time. Put this back. I think we can do a typing test here in just a moment. I just want to put everything away so it's not all over my workshop. All right, put that in there. Let's get another mint. I'm still hungry. Delicious. All right, so still cleaning up. That's a clean build, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, no, I am very happy with how it came out. It's like, I don't know, it's just look how thin it is too, because I use my flat keycaps. Got the recessed port back there. I'm getting excited for this. This is my dead switch. I'm just gonna put that over there. Put this back. For that. Unplug my iron. I'm gonna put my springs over there so I don't lose these. Then what we can do here is set up for our typing test. Right there. This over here. All right, we should be clean enough now. Should be clean enough. I can actually replace my Scotto Wing Thin Edition. I called this one because it's like a different weird sounding style. Replace this with the Scotto Wing Sprite Edition. Plug it on in. Look at that strain relief on that cable too. That's so good because of how thick it is in there. But what I can do is I can close this and go here too. Let me just go to monkey type. Oh, those switches are not. Ooh. Ooh. Noctua edition? Yeah, Noctua edition, technically. No, but the case is known as the thin edition because you can see with the port how low it is on the one here versus this one. That color scheme, those together looks really cool too. I built so many of the Scotto Wing now. Like I have the black and white one, so black and white. This one, I have 4 of them. I built 4 of these. So I just have so many PCBs for it. But this is what we got now. What I'm going to do is, of course, you know, Sprite, sponsor me. We got the lemon lime Sprite edition, and just give my drink a little sip. All right, let me see. I'm gonna switch this here. I do have to zoom that out. Ignore my mic being weird right now because I have the 2 mics set up. They messed up their like website here a little bit, so I have to like zoom out, but it should be fine. All right, so the way this works is that on my typing test, I have 2 mics. So if I talk, it's going to sound weird, just so chat knows about that right now. Can you make a Dracula edition? We will look into that. Red and black, maybe, at some point. So we're going to do the typing test. I'm going to pause music. And we'll just see how this sounds. So let's turn off my filter up here. Take another sip of my Sprite. Delicious. Okay. I'm going to pause my music. My hotkeys work. All right, let's get it. Let's do a 30-second. All right, here we go. Let's see. Oh, let me also put my mic here. Oh wait, I did fix that. So yeah, I just have the 1 mic now. So yeah, okay. So it's not doing the weird thing with the mic. All right, here we go. Okay, so that it's not bad. I put it on the wrong screen. Wait. We were supposed to do this one. I'm typing on that again because you probably didn't hear it. I thought I was on the right one. Now I have the double mics. What the hell did I do there? Yeah, no, yeah. I used the wrong mic. Now you have the weird mic thing. This is the typing view. I did the wrong view, so now we can actually test it. Let's do that again. there we go. So that's the typing test on it. What do you guys think? How did it sound? What do you think? How'd it sound? I think the switches were a little bit. They're nice. I like them. They bottom out easily though because they're 35-gram bottom out force. They're super lightweight. Like you could feel it, but I don't see an issue like typing with it. Like they feel fine. It's just they're super light. Yeah, let's do another typing test at like English 10K just because I can. I'll be a lot slower on this, but it can maybe give you another idea. What is this word? Liechtenstein? Okay, yeah, so you see how slow that was there, but that's the build. I am very happy with how it came out. This is definitely going to be my daily for now. So I'm going to bring this one upstairs with me to my actual, like, room. But, gotta run. See you, Luke. I will post more about this later, probably on the server a little bit more, but thanks for hanging out for a bit. But yeah, that's the build. That is the Scotto Wing Sprite Edition. So, Liechtenstein MG is crazy. That's a rough one. Yeah, no, that was crazy. It's a small country between the Swiss Alps and Austria. Is that what it says? I can't see because it's like blocking half the word because YouTube thing. But yeah, this is what we got. Put some music back on. Yeah, I think it sounds good. I think it looks really good. We got the Sprite Edition underneath there. In a handwiring key project, is there such thing as too thin of wire gauge? Not really. I mean, you probably want to stick with like, you know, 20 gauge. You start getting smaller, and then it's not going to have as much structure. I use the thick stuff because it holds the wires or holds the keys together better. Just makes it more sturdy and heavier. But that's what I got today. We've been streaming for close to 3 hours now, so 2 3-hour streams in 2 days is a lot. I'm gonna try. I really hopefully want to release that video for the PCB stuff tomorrow. I might still just release it because, like I've said this a few times, I don't know who's been around for this or not, but I'm just waiting on my sponsor to pay me for that video before I release it. It's typical how that works, but I might just release it anyway and just hopefully go off good faith that they'll still pay me. But yeah, so I kind of wanna release that video tomorrow, but we did this today. We did this build. I think it looks really, really good, like really good. And now I have to go into like marketing mode for this. It's going to be on Reddit. You guys are going to see this everywhere probably. And then I am also going to send it directly to Sprite and be like, look, I built you guys a keyboard. Built you the Sprite keyboard. But that's what I got today. I'm going to punch out here to this view. Yeah, so we have the Sprite. The Sprite. There's a size comparison actually of keyboard to 2-liter. That's what a dumb like thumbnail thing there. So yeah, but that's what I got. That's what I got. Scotto getting banned from the subreddit speedrun. Let's go. I'm banned from a few subreddits. Screw it. I'm just gonna say I'm banned from Raspberry Pi. I'm banned from the fucking Raspberry Pi subreddit for whatever reason. Even though I'm featured on RaspberryPi.com for my Scotto Ergo. Go figure. I tried messaging the mods. They're just like, yeah, go screw, basically. They said that they were going to look into it, and then they just, like, completely banned me and blocked me, and I couldn't even message them. Yeah, no, I'm literally banned, KM, from this Raspberry Pi subreddit. Both of them. Both of Raspberry Pi Project and Raspberry Pi for sharing my projects in there that are free to build. And with Raspberry Pi controllers. Yeah, so that's a real Reddit moment right there. What other subreddits? I'm banned from a few subreddits. Like some subreddit, like if you're in my Discord, if you're not in my Discord, join it. I go on about this stuff all the time in my Discord and the Ranch channel because like self-promotion bad, right? Self-promotion rules are in place to prevent like, you know, just a company going into places and spamming shit like, oh, buy our products, and then like guerrilla marketing where everyone's like, oh, what a great product, when really it's just like a really shitty product, right? But QMK mod rant. Yeah, no, I'm not getting into QMK mod rant here. I'm getting under self-promotion mod rant, but like, you know, I make money off these boards, right? I make it off YouTube, I make it off affiliate links, stuff like that. I try to be as honest as possible with all this stuff, right? But a lot of my projects, when I share them, of course, they have the publicity aspect where sharing my boards is going to bring publicity to my channel. It will help me like survive as making money doing this as a job, right? But also the projects are free, a lot of them. Like the PCB ones, you can buy the PCBs for me. But my Handwire project is like 28 boards that are completely free with the firmware and software. And then I post them in a Raspberry Pi subreddit, and they banned me for self-promotion rules. And it's like, okay. Like, all right, sure, just ban me for that. And then when you try to like dispute it, they try to act like they're gonna do something, and they're just like, no. So I'm still salty about that. It's been like 6 months, and my biggest post ever on Reddit or on the Raspberry Pi one, like my Scotto 34, was so popular that bot accounts started like stealing it and reposting it on there, like, and I'm banned from there. When I'm featured, screw it, I will show you. I am literally, let me close this. I am literally, where is it? Hold on. I'm literally on raspberrypi.com. Yeah, I'm literally on here. Like, I'm literally on raspberrypi.com, and I'm banned from the Raspberry Pi subreddit. I'm mad about that. Still mad about that. But, yeah, yeah, with that, that's what we got today. We built this, the Sprite edition. Now, hopefully I don't get sued by Sprite for building this, because, you know, yeah, whatever. But yeah, if you're not in my Discord, join the Discord if you're still here. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, because I post like behind the scenes stuff there. I'm trying to get more followers on Instagram, you know, as a YouTuber tries to do, blow up their platforms. But yeah, I don't have anything else to do here. I'm gonna try releasing a video tomorrow, hopefully my sponsor pays me. Kind of went over that already, but that's what I got today. We streamed for almost 3 hours 2 days in a row, so that's a lot. That is a lot in 2 days. I'm not surprised you're mad. Yeah, no, I'm kind of pissed about it. Like, it still pisses me off because there's nothing I can do either, right? There's nothing I can do for that. I can't do anything to get back on that subreddit, because if I create a separate account and post on there, then you're ban evading. Then your main account can get banned. So I can't do anything there. And I'm even risking right now saying this, like, maybe they're going to hunt me down now and ban my whole account because I'm, like, getting pissed at a subreddit, right? Like, I have to be careful because I have r/handwire keyboards. I run that. I'm the mod of that. So, like, there's nothing I can do here. And don't you guys go do something either. Like, literally, like, this isn't like a subliminal message. Don't go do anything there with this, because, like, I don't want to be, like, what is it, brigading your audience to a subreddit then. Then that's, like, a rule violation, too. So, like, I'm just kind of screwed in this situation with the ban from Raspberry Pi. And, yeah, I don't even know. Like, I'm pretty sure the mods banned me, like, blocked me. So I can't even get messages to it, because they were responding to me, and they were polite, right? They were polite about it. They were, like, looking into it, basically, because it was an auto-mod thing, I think. But then they just stopped responding. I tried messaging them, like, 3 or 4 days in a row, and they just, like, stopped responding to me. And I was like, it's got to be just auto. Yeah, thank you, Pure. Like, don't do anything on this. Don't go there. Like, because I'm pretty sure if you did, they'd fucking come after me again. It'd be like, oh, now you're brigading your audience to our subreddit. So it just, yeah, that's my rant. That's the Scotto rant of the day, is that I'm banned from Raspberry Pi when I'm featured on raspberrypi.com. Go figure. I'm featured on raspberrypi.com, and you're banned from the subreddit. That's because it's not even ran by Raspberry Pi either, but, like, you know, what can you do? Can't do anything there. What else? I was banned from another subreddit, but yeah. I got banned for 2 of the same comment. Yeah, sometimes Reddit will, like, double post stuff too. Sometimes that's happened to me. Like, I'll post on mobile and it will double post because, like, Reddit app is kind of shitty. But it will double post stuff, and it's like, okay, great. Before I read anything, just look at the colors. This is the Surge theme. No, this is I'm guessing you're just joining here, Cyberdeck Cafe. This is the Sprite edition. Scotto Wing Sprite edition. I thought about Subway, but I thought Sprite was better because I drink Sprite. I don't really go to Subway, so I thought the Sprite edition was kind of funny, but. Yeah, anyway, that's kind of what I got today. We've been streaming for close to 3 hours. So, yeah, I figured you just got in. This is going to be a video on demand, so you'll be able to watch it if you want later. It'll be on my channel. You'll be able to see the typing test. These are 35-gram springs, so they're, like, super light on here. But, you stream at Twitch? Nah, I don't do Twitch. I do YouTube only. Hey, Joe, Sadfrex, could I hear a quick sound test, please? Are you, you're on a different account here. I'll do this just for you really quick. Here. Because you want to hear this. I will hook you up. I'll just pretend to type on it. Wait. That's all you get. That's what you get. All right. It will be on the stream later, so you can see it. But I am headed out now. We have done 2 hours and 52 minutes, 2 days in a row of 3-hour streams, which is pretty cool. I don't know when my next live stream will be actually after this, but Subway is more likely to sue you as far as I know. They're really petty from what I've heard. Yeah, and I don't really want to be associated with Subway because of some of their like past stuff. Some of you might know about that. So Subway. So Jesus, that sounds gorgeous. Hope you don't get banned for this post. I know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I get banned from Reddit now after this, because I went on a rant about how I'm banned from Raspberry Pi when I'm featured on RaspberryPi.com. Like, go figure. I don't know, man. This actually happened to another creator. What's his name? I don't know his exact name. He does like nuclear stuff, but he got banned from nuclear power. He got banned from there. But he's like literally a teacher and educator on nuclear power. It's like, all right, great. Nice stream. Board looks great, especially the color combination. Which IEMs, by the way. These are my timeless 7 hertz. Timeless 7 hertz. I love these IEMs. They're planar magnetic IEMs. They're just so good. But yeah, that's the last question I'm answering, is that one. I'm headed out now. I am gonna go into posting mode on this board. I have to take pictures of it. I have to actually pop all the keycaps off and take a picture of our modded switches here. Like, don't feel bad. I run the Cyberdeck Discord and Maker group, yet I am banned from /r Cyberdeck. Interesting. Send me an invite to that Cyberdeck Discord. I'm on the Cyberdeck subreddit a lot too, but yeah, send me an invite to that. If you're in my Discord, or just like send it here, I'll take a look. But yeah, we have these switches there. I can show like that. So I did the modding of the switch, so I had to pop them all off and do that. But I'm gonna stop rambling now because I could ramble for a while. I want to go eat. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. It's a pretty good stream. We had like, I think we had like 30-40 viewers at one point, so that was pretty good. It's been a pretty decent stream, but I'm out. I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna go post this board, and I'll see you guys next time. Make sure join the Discord, like the Instagram, you know, do those things. Helps me boost in the algorithms across the internet, because that's how the internet works. But I'm headed out. See you guys.